Hey friends, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to guide you through a somatic meditation that's inspired by the elements. It will be very personal to you, so I'm going to give space for you to connect with a particular element that might resonate with you today. There might be more than one, we'll just see what comes up. And this is kind of a way of connecting to nature and to the elements without actually being in them. So if you live in a block of flats or an apartment, or if you are at work, you work in an office, or you don't tend to get out into nature as much as you could, this is kind of an opportunity to do that in your mind and through your senses. I'm going to give some space for some reflections, some kind of reflective prompts, and this is an exploration, so it's, there's no particular outcome. We don't know. Like, that's the beauty of somatic exploration, is that we don't always know what the outcome is going to be. So this is something to be really curious about, and just see what happens. And I hope that you enjoy it. So we will start either lying down or sitting, but at any point, if you want to get up and move around, you are free to do that. We don't have to always be sat still or rigid, and I'm a big believer in, especially with somatic work, in actually responding to your body's needs. I think a lot of us feel like we have to sit really still and rigid, but there's something bubbling up inside that actually wants us to move. Maybe it's nervous energy, or maybe it's just needing to move. We're taught to just sit still so often, and we are, we're beings, we move, we've got energy flowing through us all the time. So do what you need to do. If you want to make this super cozy, grab some pillows, blankets, lie yourself down. You can be on your bed, you can be on the floor, and let's get started. So wherever you are, I invite you to start by bringing just a little bit of movement in. So if you are choosing to go into that complete stillness for the practice, it's always nice to kind of have a little stretch out first, just to kind of check in with any areas that might feel tense or tight. Have a little lengthen out through the fascia. You could start with a wrist roll or a shoulder roll, but just feeling through your body and seeing what might feel quite welcome here. All depends on what you've been up to before you clicked play. And as you're bringing in this movement, have a little look around your space. So you can turn your head, we could get a little bit of movement going in the neck. If you're sitting up, you could take it into a gentle twist. But with the intention of slowing everything down. So notice if you're just kind of pinging your attention around, and if you're like, that might be needed, that's fine. But could you just start to really notice what's happening in the space? Spend a little bit of time looking at one thing and maybe sensing into the movement in the neck and the twist. If you are taking a twist, make sure to do it on both sides. And starting to tune into the breath. So a little bit of time to land in the space, to connect to your body, connect to your breath. Acknowledge where you are in time and space. And then we can start to drop in a little bit more to ourselves. So getting into a position that feels comfortable. If you're sitting up, if you're cross-legged, maybe you sit up on a couple of pillows or blankets just to lift the hips slightly. Find a little more effortless length through the spine. And when you feel ready, maybe closing the eyes or just softening the gaze. And noticing the support underneath you. So allowing your pelvis to feel a little bit heavier. Maybe relaxing the shoulders. And there might be an instinctive breath that comes through. There might be a little bit more movement that needs to happen. And we can take a slow breath in through the nose together and let it out through the mouth. How does it feel to be here, to land in this space right now? Sometimes we will arrive feeling quite grounded, relaxed, present. Sometimes we will be pinging all around the place. That's okay. Is there something that you could connect with in this space that makes you feel like you are present, that makes you feel like you are supported or grounded? That could be the cushion underneath you. And sensing into that just a little bit more. If it feels available, you might breathe in and out through your nose. If you feel like you need to soothe a little bit more, so if you are feeling quite on edge, maybe a little bit anxious, maybe lengthening the exhale out through the mouth, pursing the lips. Taking a moment to check in, noticing how you are and what you might need to support you right now. Maybe it's changing position, maybe you feel thirsty, so you need a sip of water. Maybe sensing into what lets you know that you are present right now. What lets you know that you have landed in the space. And there might be parts of you that feel really present, and maybe there are parts of you that don't. Sometimes we can be here and we can feel grounded, but then maybe there's a part of us that feels like we should be doing something else. So acknowledging if that is true for you or anything along those lines. Reminding yourself, I'm here to give myself permission to pause. I'm here to turn inwards, to connect with the elements, with nature. A few more breaths here. Maybe see if you can sense or feel into some support and stability underneath you. If it feels comfortable too or appropriate, you might bring a hand to your heart. That always helps me to land and feel just a little bit more grounded. Softening the eyes or closing them. And bringing to mind the 4 elements. So earth, water, fire, air. Taking a moment to bring them to mind. And is there one that feels like it resonates more today? Is there one that kind of comes up? So when you first thought about the elements before I listed them, was there kind of one that popped in? Taking a moment now to see, notice, sense or feel if there's one or more. There might be more. And you can't get this practice wrong. So if you are scrabbling around trying to think, well, which one does she want me to pick? Can you trust right now that whatever comes up is right? And connecting with it just a little bit more. If there are a few, so if you're kind of flitting between them, is there one that feels more relevant right now? One that feels like you could go towards it just a little bit more than the other one? And as you bring it to mind, let's drop into the body. So when you think about this particular element, is there a response from your body? This isn't a trick question. Sometimes the answer might be no. But we're just starting to tune into our felt sense. So yes, there might be an image of this element. So if it's water, for example, there might be a waterfall, a pond, the ocean. As you bring it to mind, noticing if your body wants to move or respond to the element. So what is the quality of the element that you're bringing to mind? Because there can be lots of different ways of bringing this in. So water can be flowing, it can be explosive, it can be big, it can be shallow. Noticing how that arrives for you. Again, not making it right or wrong, just as it is true for you. And seeing if there is any movement that wants to happen. It might feel a little awkward, it might feel a little bit strange. Nothing needs to happen. Nothing big needs to happen, but it might. This is an exploration, remember, so being curious about what might want to happen. Noticing, sensing, feeling how you relate to this element. Is there a particular emotion present with it? Is there an image that wants to come through, or even a thought, some words? Let's spend a few more moments here. Let's see if anything's coming up, and if nothing is coming up, that is okay. We can just kind of soften into the unknown, there's nothing here today. That's okay. Being really curious about whether there is a message that wants to come through with this element. And again, nothing needs to happen. The felt sense can be very fuzzy and unclear. It doesn't speak in kind of coherence sometimes. But being curious about any sensations in your body, any movements that might want to happen with it. It might be the quality of it, it might be an expression, a feeling. And let's take a few more breaths here. A few steady, conscious breaths. And as we start to bring this exploration to a close, is there anything that needs to happen? Anything to help this meditation complete? Anything you need to take away with you or leave behind? Any messages, confusion? Any final movements and remembering that however this practice was today, whatever came up or didn't come up, is exactly what needed to happen today. And this is something that you can come back to, and this is a great way of learning to understand the language of your body, learning to communicate with your body. Again, the felt sense is fuzzy, it's not always clear, and if we haven't connected with our bodies in a while, if we're very in our heads, it can take just a little bit longer to start to listen and understand. So, just knowing that if you were like, what the hell was that? Then you haven't done anything wrong. There might be some notes that you want to take. There might be, any reflections. Have some time to write them down. If anything did come through for you, then make a note of that. Any drawings, or I'm quite visual, so I like to just kind of sketch out things, and and we don't need to make sense of it, especially those really fuzzy things. When you're ready, bring a little movement back in if you haven't already. Connect back with the space, have a little look around. Always good to check in with how you are after these explorations. Noticing what you need. It was wonderful to share this space with you, and I hope to see you again soon. Take care.